What's up, guys? Sean Rochester, 5 Reasons Sports, bringing you my 5 keys for Game 20, Heat vs. Pacers, December 2nd, 2023. It's the second game in a row that we've played them, so these keys are going to be short and sweet because a lot of them apply directly from the game on Thursday. Before I get into the keys, look in the link in the description. Finish line, $10 off a $100 purchase. Holidays are quickly coming up, and you can save some money by going to the link below. Get yourself some gear from the Finish Line using the link in the description for the Finish Line. My 5 keys. The first one is going to be about injuries. Obviously, Bam is going to be out tonight. That really hurts the Miami Heat. It sounds like Tyrese Haliburton is not going to play based on what you're seeing with the betting lines and what the information coming out of shoot-around is. So starting with the first one, with Bam not being in there, I really think Thomas Bryant is going to be the guy that starts. That's what they did at the beginning of the second half. I know some people don't like that. They don't think he's been playing very well, but I think Spo wants to keep the rotation intact as much as possible. You could put Orlando Robinson there to achieve the same thing. So I think it's going to be one of those two. I don't think it's going to be Kevin Love, but I'm leaning that it's going to be Thomas Bryant. I still think you see Big O out there, especially if Bryant is not good. He plays, neither of them are very fleet of foot, but he can move a little bit better than Thomas Bryant, I feel like. So in Indiana's pace and running and spacing you out, I think Orlando can do a good job. And Kevin Love really did a really good job, even though we know he's not very mobile, but he has the IQ to get himself to places where he needs to be. I also think there's a chance that you could see Jovic, and I'm not one of those people, but if there's ever a time to see him, it's the shorthanded against a team that's not going to have, like, Isaiah Jackson's a guy that Jovic can go out there and play against, not a Miles Turner, but space, pace. This seems like a matchup where Jovic could fit if you want to try to find him minutes. But especially in this matchup, they're going to attack the rim, so we got to have bigs that are going to defend the rim. You got to rebound, obviously, and any scoring that you get out of the 5 position tonight, I think that's a bonus. Second one, Haliburton being questionable. Andrew Nembhard's still a great point guard, low turnover guy. Obviously, he's not Haliburton, but he can still run that machine. They're going to still push pace off of makes, misses. We cannot be surprised early on about how fast they play. We did a good job of controlling pace as the game went on, getting to the free throw line, slowing things down. The pace in that game on Thursday was 105.5, which means that one team had 106 possessions, one team had 105. That's not too far off the Pacers' average, but it wasn't like extraordinarily high to make Miami uncomfortable, even though it seemed like they were playing very fast. Miami's average is about 98, so you're not getting them too uncomfortable in that, and that was really getting them the free throw line, so that can be a key, and we'll talk about that later. Third key, prior to the last game, we talked about Indiana basically shoots shots at the rim. They shoot shots behind the arc, and that's it. It was not any different when you look at Thursday night's game. And we remember early on, it seemed like everything was coming at the rim. And if you look at cleaning the glass, you would be kind of like confused because it says that Indiana only shot 21% of their attempts at the rim, which is within 4 feet. The tricky thing is, if you add the short mid-range, 4 to 14 feet, 55% of their attempts came within that area. So if you go to that math, most of those were very close to the basket. And then if you look at the threes, 40% of their attempts came outside the arc. That's 95% of their attempts came from within 14 feet or outside the arc. That's what they're going to do. Whether Haliburton's out there or not, they're going to get to the rim, they're going to spray it out, or they're going to kick out for threes. You just got to do a good job of trying to force them into the uncomfortable shots with their mid-range, which are not effective shots. Haliburton or not, that's what they're going to do. Fourth key, free throw attempts. Helps you control pace, gets them in foul trouble. We saw that on Thursday. Even with Bam out there, you got Jimmy that can draw fouls. And our wings, because they are not a good defensive team, they're completely disinterested in playing defense, can get you off the bounce, get to the basket. Same thing, you can spray out to shooters. They'll give up threes, but also getting to the rim and then getting free throw attempts helps control the pace. Shooting a lot of threes against this team, if you're not making them, long misses, long rebounds, and now you're out to run. And even if you make it, they're going to try to run off of it anyway. So can shoot threes, but they got to be under control. Fifth one, it's a baseball series, back-to-back, 2 out of 3 or whatever. It's hard to win both. Now, Haliburton being out could be the key that really, gives Miami a great chance to do this, but I wouldn't overreact to that. I know I sent out a tweet earlier. I kind of saw some movement in the line. I figured that Haliburton was sitting by the way the line was moving. Then shortly after that, the news came out of practice that he wasn't at the shoot-around. So it was Miami minus 4.5. It opened up at minus 3.5 on Better Edge, dropped to 2.5. Now it's up to 4.5. Don't overreact too much that just because Haliburton's not there, oh, Miami's got this. First of all, as Heat fans, we should know better because we know that we drop games like this. But even if he doesn't play, that minus 6 or so, just be careful. I think if you can get 4.5 or 4, even maybe 5, but don't get too excited and react too much because we know without Bam it's going to be difficult. Hopefully the Heat get a win tonight. Thanks for tuning in.